What's up guys? Arief Hunter here, exercise physiologist. I'm going to talk a little bit about injuries and how you should sort of have your mindset when you're battling or experiencing injuries. First of all, you want to know why the injury happened. Is it repetitive? Is it acute? Happened out of the ordinary? Could you have prevented it? So when you have the injury, you want to know what's caused it, what aggravated it. Is it sort of like a recurring hip pain? Does it happen when you do more volume, more intensity? Or did it happen sort of at a competition? Like let's just say when you're running, you strain a hamstring or something like that. So once you've gone through the acute phase of the injury, you want to know more about the injury itself. You want to know what sort of aggravates it, what relieves it. Once you sort of know a lot more about that, you want to do obviously less of what aggravates it and do a lot more of what relieves it. And when you're going through that, you got to sort of critically analyze why it happened. Was it sort of a fault in your movement pattern? Did you just do too much? When you're coming up with a rehab program, you want to address the issue. Pain is usually a symptom and you want to find out where it came from. So let's just say if you have a bit of knee pain, it might have happened from something in the ankle or something in the hip. You want to look above and below the joint. So that can sort of tell you a lot about the rehab program that you're going to do. So obviously you want to minimize pain, get things stronger, and then address weaknesses. So you might have bad ankle mobility for the squat, or you might have bad hip mobility in the hips that can lead to knee pain. So you want to address things appropriately. So with myself, I used to get a little bit of knee pain, and it usually stemmed from having bad ankle mobility. So I mobilized my calves a lot. It was pretty tight, so with a knee to wall test, I couldn't really get too close to the wall. And you can sort of hide that wearing Olympic heels, but you still need to address the issue with increasing your ankle mobility, whether it's a bit of obstruction in the joint or a little bit of muscle tightness. So once you address that, it feels a lot more comfortable when you're squatting. You can sort of hit depth a lot better. So when you're managing the injury, you want to know the difference between pain and discomfort. Anytime when there's pain, you definitely want to stop what you're doing. That's your body telling you something crucial, and you sort of need to listen to your body when that's happening. When you're doing that, you want to know when to push and when to hold back. So let's just say if you're addressing a squat, you want to play with as many variables as you can. It might be sort of how high you have the bar, where you grip the bar. Obviously, the weight is an issue. It might be just you can't handle that much weight when you're lifting that way. It can be something as simple as pointing your toes out in a different direction or your stance width. Or it could be something fundamental like not knowing how to brace. When you have an injury, it's important to sort of seek help. Sometimes you just have a rest, you take a week off, and then you go back to training, and then you haven't addressed anything. You're just going to eventually hurt yourself in a week or two again, or a few months down the track. We have people we refer to, so it's important to sort of have a team behind you. So we have a sports doctor we send people to, or we have a physio we send people to, and that then gives us information as well with our initial consultation to design a rehab program to get you back to where you need to be. When you're training and rehabbing, you get a bit sort of sad. You're not where you are, you're not where you want to be, and it's important not to sort of compare yourself pre-injury, because if you do that, you're just going to dwell on not focusing on the important things like taking it day by day and moving forward and getting back to how strong you were before the injury and even getting stronger past the injury. So when you're doing this, it's important to know like the professionals you work with care about you and they genuinely want to see you get better and improve you as fast as you can. But it's important to realize that sometimes you might have to miss the competition or miss the sporting season just because if you jump the gun and get back to your sport sooner than you're ready, you're going to sort of make the injury a lot worse than it initially is. So you might develop some tendonitis, and then it might go into tendinopathy if you keep pushing through, or a hamstring strain might turn into a hamstring rupture. So you always want to make sure you're 100% ready to get back to your sport or on the field when you're ready. Don't sort of jump the gun and make any silly mistakes. When you're dealing or experiencing an injury, it's important to take it step by step. You want to be focused on the things you can control. So you want to take things, don't worry too much about how you were pre-injury. You want to do the mobility that you're prescribed, or do the exercises you're prescribed, and try and work to the best of your ability to implement the plan that you have. You don't want to worry about how cold it is somewhere else or something like that. You want to control things you can, and that'll give you the best possible chance to get back to where you were and beyond. So to round things off, if you're dealing with any injuries or you're always had a little bit of a niggle, get it assessed by an exercise physiologist or a sports doctor or a physio. Basically, seek professional help. What you want to do is you want to get on top of things before it becomes a bigger issue, and that'll make sure you keep moving forward. If you're serious about your training or want to deal with any niggles before it becomes a bigger problem, hit us up. And don't forget to smash that like button and hit the notification bell.